Hello and welcome to this week's Sunday show. This is a very special Sunday because it's Easter Sunday, and in the Bible we know that this is a very special day because it's the day that Jesus rose from his tomb and showed himself to us all. Now we have a very special communicator this evening, because I'm quite late in doing my show today, because I've been quite busy. I've been doing some demonstrations and services and private readings today, and so I'm late. It's 10 to 1 in the morning. Anyway, so I want to tell you about the person that is standing by the side of me, and we have God here, and God is wanting to talk specifically about the Easter weekend that took place over 2,000 years ago when Jesus was crucified on the cross and then rose on the Sunday. And he wishes to talk about his involvement and how he had an impact on everything that took place. Now, the first thing that what he wants to say is that although this was a terrible catastrophe that took place, and nobody would wish this on anyone that they knew and loved, because what Jesus endured in those days was absolutely awful, and he was treated in an awful manner, and he wasn't protected, and this is the problem that he feels is an issue. And what he's saying is that although this was all very terrible, what happened to him, he feels that the essence of his life has lasted through millennia and has enabled people to understand Jesus's gift to God and humanity. And he says that if Jesus had not suffered in the way that he did, then there would not be the church that exists today in the manner that it exists and the way that it exists, and we would not have the Christians and the whole Christian movement that exists today. And it is Jesus's willingness to do right by humanity, to suffer at the hands of a few in order to expose the atrocity that took place. God says, I never wanted Jesus to suffer in this way, but the twists and turns in the life that he was in meant that it had to be in this way. And whilst Jesus did not have any choice in the matter, God says that there were people involved that did not want to see Jesus exist anymore. And as we all have free will on our earth plane and in our lives, he could not intervene with what they were doing and how they were conducting their accusations and their accusing manner towards Jesus. He's talking about Pontius Pilate, and he says to me, Pontius Pilate is not a bad person in the way that some people think he may be considered. Because what he's saying is that he tried many times over to excuse Jesus from the desire for many people to have him committed and crucified. And he tried once, he tried twice, and he tried 3 times in order to save Jesus and commit somebody that had committed many more serious crimes. Once Pontius Pilate got into the spirit world, he realized the error of his ways very soon and very quickly. And he has tried many times over in many lives to put things right. He has lived alongside many people that have endured the pain of what happened on that fateful day. And he has given of himself time and time and time again. But now, when we look back over history and we see what happened to Jesus and the apostles and Mother Mary and their lives and the story that is told, we have an understanding in our world. And that understanding is probably one of the greatest stories that has ever been written. It is a story that is surrounded in truth, that gives an idea that there is a God, and here I am talking, and there is a reason for living, and that the purpose for life should be in every way to grow and become better people. In God's name, he says, I ask of people to do the best that they can. I ask of people to give love, to be better than they have ever thought that they possibly could be. And I give of myself time and time again. I observe atrocities, and I observe the absolute kindness that you couldn't possibly imagine. But in these observations, I see one thing that is clear, that mankind has a lot to learn, that mankind has not reached the position where it should be at. Mankind needs much more teaching from their lives. And this can only happen from a repetition of lives and a repetition of challenging their difficulties and their lack of understanding. And God says, I want people to know that I try to do good by everyone. I want people to know that I try and give love to everyone and that I help people wherever I can. But it is mankind's free will that upsets the balance. It is mankind's free will that forgets to consider another man, that takes it upon themselves selfish action to enhance themselves and doesn't consider anybody else in this equation. He talks about the children of this world, and he talks about how many of them are in need of love, and some of them don't have that love that they need. And he wants to say to people, as an ending thought of the day, please remember the children in the world that do not have their parents around them, that have been blighted by war and lost whole families, that have been moved and shunted around in such a way that is so unsettling to them. Children that do not know whether they have a proper future or not, a secure future or not. Please, he says, he asks everyone to give them the thought, and that thought is an energy of love, and that energy of love can surround them in the white light that we take from these thoughts and bring to those children. So it is the children that we must look after in this life, for they are our future and they are our promise. Thank you for listening. Now, if you like my shows and like everything that we've talked about or looked at previous shows that I've done, please subscribe and press the bell so that if you're interested, you can be notified of anything else that I put on. Thank you. Bye-bye.